What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Dwyer from the Bunker Recordings and BetterMixes.com, and today we're going to be discussing why you need to stop recording your vocals in a freaking closet. I came across a video on Lewitt Microphone's channel the other day on how to make better home recordings, and one of the tips they gave was so bad, I knew I had to make a video about it. I'll link to Lewitt's video up here because most of the tips are pretty solid, just not this one. They said to record your vocals in a closet because your clothes will absorb reflections and make your vocals sound great. Don't do this. Yeah, the clothes will absorb some high-end reflections, but not nearly enough to make up for the fact that a closet is one of the worst acoustic spaces to record in. Like, two of the first rules that people learn about acoustics is that parallel walls often cause unflattering reflections, and low-end buildup occurs in corners, so don't record in corners. Well, guess what a closet is? A bunch of super close parallel walls and corners. So even if the closet is stuffed with clothes, it's still going to sound super resonant and boxy, and just generally unpleasant. I know this trick has been around forever, and Lewitt certainly didn't come up with it, so I'm not trying to hate on them or whatever. But I've gotten quite a few vocal tracks from bands to mix where they've done this, and it's not a good time. It's a pain in the butt to mix, and ends up sounding way worse than if they just stood in the middle of the room. But don't just take my word for it. Let's actually hear this. Alright, here I am standing in a closet full of clothes, recording my voice. I obviously haven't listened back to this yet, but I can tell you just from speaking in here that it does not sound good. Not to mention it's super cramped, dark, and uncomfortable. Even if it did sound decent in here, which it certainly does not, I can't imagine anyone giving a great vocal performance in here. Well, that was uncomfortable. And after listening back, yeah, it sounded pretty bad. And it would only get worse when actually singing and belting out, as the weird resonances are only going to get worse the louder you are. So now that we know where not to record vocals, I don't want to just leave you hanging. So let's talk about what you should do instead. First, get out away from the corners and walls. Walk around the middle of the room looking for a spot that sounds decent and doesn't have much in the way of weird resonances or obvious flutter echo. Then the cheapest and easiest solution is to grab a few mic stands, set them up in a kind of T shape, and drape some blankets over them. If you've got some heavy duty packing blankets, they work pretty well, but whatever you've got will probably work fine. Now, is this going to be as good as recording in a properly treated room? Nope. But in most cases, it'll probably be good enough, and it'll definitely be better than recording in a closet. But anyway, I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, be sure to leave a thumbs up and subscribe. It really helps the channel. And head on over to BetterMixes.com to grab some free mixing guides, to learn about my mixing course, to pick up the world's raddest drum samples, and a whole lot more.